Fast forward to June 2024. My brother-in-law and his wife had stopped in town for a visit, and they had some things for us, and I was loading these things into the car. And these were sort of like Amazon boxes, nothing super heavy, nothing real big. I was just walking back and forth from the house to the car, loading some boxes. By the time I got done with that, this probably only took 5 minutes. But I remember having a feeling that I've never had before. It was the heaviness that you hear about with heart patients. And it wasn't painful, but it was this heaviness. It was different than what I had in New York. It wasn't the heaviness you hear about, like somebody says that it felt like an elephant was on their chest. It wasn't that bad. It was sort of shortness of breath, but more just this really heaviness in my chest. And what bothered me was, for the first time, unlike what happened in New York, this was happening on exertion, meaning I had done something physical and now this was happening. Like usual, I dismissed it thinking, well, maybe I'm crazy, maybe I'm sore from something else, knowing that this was different. I couldn't get this out of my mind. I was worried about it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for that next week, because we went bowling. And although we bowled 3 games, in frames of bowling, you throw the ball down twice, this big heavy 10-pound ball, I was able to do it, but I was sweating, and that same feeling came back as when I was taking these boxes out to the car. It was like, here we go again, the second time, and this has happened. So throughout that week, it ended up getting bad enough that I would go to the grocery store. I'd park the car, walk the parking lot, and then go back to the back of the store, get some item, milk or something. And by the time I got back to the car, it was happening again. It was manageable. Like I said, it wasn't painful, but it was there, and it would take sometimes an hour for it to kind of go back to normal after I rested. And so I knew I had a problem then. Things were rapidly getting worse. My wife not only knows that I don't like to go to the doctor, she shares my same concerns and doesn't really like going to the doctor either. But I felt like it was time to tell her what was going on. And, because it felt like we might need to do something about this. So I remember having that conversation with her, and the conversation sort of went, hey, here's what's happening. I'm sort of concerned about it. We may have to go somewhere sometime. I just want to let you know about it. And I'm starting to put a timeline on it. If this isn't gone, if I'm still having the same problem in 6 months, I'll go to the doctor. Should have gone to the doctor that night.